Hello friends, very good morning. Let us continue with our business law. So we are doing what? Indian Contract Act. And where have we reached in Indian Contract Act? Yes? Yes? So here we are. We have done till the, yes, we are redoing Unit 3. And today we will discuss about legality of object and considerations. In the last classes, what we have discussed? In the last class, we have discussed about the 5 important elements relating with the free consent. That is, what are the 5 elements related with the free consent? Coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, and mistake. Very good. So these are the 5 elements we discussed in detail. What are the effects? What are the exceptions? Differences between them? Yes, this we have studied in detail. Now coming to today's topic, that is legality of object and consideration. Okay, what is meant by legality of object and consideration? We have already studied in our essential elements. That is, both object and consideration must be legal. If they are illegal, then the contract is invalid, that is void. Okay, so now let us study this element now in little bit detail. That is, under section 23 of Indian Contract Act, the following considerations or object will be considered unlawful in the following cases. Okay, when consideration or object is forbidden by law, if the consideration, if the object is forbidden by law and we make contracts on that particular things, then it is void. Okay, like what can for example, that is a contract of marriage below 18 years of age for girls and 21 for boys, correct? You cannot marry before that, but if you do an agreement before that age, then it is void. Are you clear? Taking dowry, is this allowed? This is also forbidden by law. If we make contracts, you have to give us dowry, only then the marriage is possible. Making this type of contract, then it is void. Are you clear? Okay, see here, forbidden by law, like suppose for marriage 17 years boy taking dowry is not permissible in Indian law. Such contracts will not be valid contracts as both consideration and objects are unlawful. Understood? First example. Second one, when the consideration object is such of nature that if permitted would defeat the provision of law, not directly but indirectly. First one, what it was, let us write. First one was forbidden by law. First one is what? Legality. When consideration or object both are forbidden by law. Forbidden by law means law does not allow such kind of things. For example, dowry, marriage below 17 or marriage below 18 and 21 years of age. Okay. Second one was where consideration or object is such that it defeats the provisions of law. Directly, might be indirectly. Defeats provision of law. For example, listen to the example here. If we make an agreement in such a way that our agreement is defeating some provisions of the law, then that agreement is what? Okay. For example, A's estate is sold for arrears of revenue. What is meant by arrears of revenue? Some taxes not paid on the land. Okay, under the provision of act of legislature. So you have to pay the taxes according to your revenue. If you're not paying, then you are supposed to, the estate will be sold. Okay, now by which the defaulter is prohibited from purchasing the estate. When the taxes are not paid, automatically government will not allow anybody else to purchase it. Okay, now B upon an understanding with A becomes the purchases. But what does B do? B is making an understanding with the A and making an agreement and agrees to convey the estate to A upon receiving from him the price which B has paid. The agreement is void as it renders the transaction in effect a purchase by the defaulter and also defeats the objects of the law. So when there is arrears of revenue, tax is not paid, then it is under the government. you cannot purchase that land. But if you make a separate understanding agreement that okay, I'll pay the price, you give me the land, that if you make a purchase, then it will defeat the provision of what? Arrears of Revenue Legislature Act, and hence it is invalid. Okay, understood? Clear? Or very simple example, suppose in the from government it is said that there are some rules with regards to employees regarding gratuity, PF payments, bonus payments, correct? Now suppose if PF is said to be paid to the employees at 7.5%, then it should be paid at that percentage only. But if you make a separate agreement with the employees telling that we may pay you at 5% if you join us, then is it not defeating the provision of that law? According to the law, PF law, you must pay how much? 7.5%. But if you are making an agreement for 5%, then it is defeating the provision of the law and hence invalid. Understood? Okay. Now, when it is fraudulent, when the object and consideration both are fraudulent. Third one is what? When the consideration object both are fraudulent. Fraudulent means involves fraud. It's very simple. Correct? See, if suppose ABC enters into an agreement that from making the fraud, they have earned some money, and that for the division of that fraud money, they are making an agreement, it will also be void because they have acquired the gains by unlawful means, by fraud, and hence the contract related with that will also be void. Are you clear? Okay, next. The general term injury means criminal or wrongful harm. In the following examples, the object or consideration is unlawful as it involves injury to the person or property of another. Fourth one is what? Causing injury either to a person or to the property. Okay. So, if any contract involves causing injury to a person or to the property, then those type of agreements are not valid. Suppose making an agreement that throw the rocks at the bus, destroy their property, damage their car. I will pay you this much. That kind of agreement, is it allowed? No, it is void because it is causing injury to the property of a person. Okay. So an agreement to print a book, say if I have the authorities to print the book, I have the copyrights, then only I can do so. If another person copies those rights and prints the book, then again it is injury to the property and hence void. Okay. Listen to this example. Why I read example is, examples are very important because in the examinations you may get very similar cases, only name change or something will change, and you may get, there are chances of getting similar examples. So it is very necessary for us to go through the examples. Clear? Okay, going through the examples is must in law because similar case laws can come in the examinations. Now see here, A promises to repay his debt by doing manual labor daily for special period and agrees to pay interest at an exorbitant rate in case of default. What has happened? What has happened? See, A has taken some loan. A has taken some loan. Now to repay that loan, what is telling? I cannot repay you the money, but I will do labor work for you. Okay, so every day's labor work will be counted for deduction of my loan amount. If I am not doing the labor work, then you can charge the interest at exorbitant rate. What is meant by exorbitant rate? Extraordinary high rates of interest. Okay, now here A is promised to repay the amount by manual labor. Is it valid? Is it valid? What does it say? ಅವನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ? What is it trailing? वो क्या बोल रहा है? वो बोल रहा है कि मेरा जो भी लोन अमाउंट है मैं वो काम करके चुका रहा हूं. Yes, whatever is the loan amount, I will repay by doing labor work. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ ಕಡೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು loan, I will try to fulfill the loan. Okay, now is this contract for loan? What is it doing? Manual labor. Okay, now is it valid? This is illegal because it amounts to slavery on the part of A. Slavery, correct? He's nothing but he'll become slave till he pays off the loan. And hence slavery is not allowed in the country. It is opposed to public policy. and it involves injury to the person and hence is illegal and opposed to public policy, and this type of agreement will be void. Clear? Next, when the consideration, next one is fifth one, immoral. When the considerations are immoral, immoral means no moral values, against moral values, then it is again void. For example, again see very interesting or very unique examples we have here. For example, P is giving money to D. Why P is giving money to D? To get a divorce from her husband. P is giving money to D. Why is he giving the money? To take a divorce from her husband, so that he can get a divorce and marry himself. Understood? It was held P was not entitled to recover. Suppose now tell me. Try to understand and tell me. P is giving money to D. Okay? P is giving money to D. Now, why did he give the money? To take a divorce from the husband. The money is given to take a divorce from the husband. Now, D accepts the money. D accepts the money, but after taking the money, she does not give the divorce to her husband. Can now P recover the money from D? Did you understand the question, or shall I repeat again? P has given money to D. Why did he give the money? To take a divorce from the husband. Okay. Now, P gave the money, but she did not take a divorce from the husband. ಈಗ money ಯಾರ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ? With the D. Correct? Now, because she is not taking the divorce, P is asking, give my money back. Can P recover that amount? Yes? No. What is meant by void agreements? What's meant by void agreements? Can P recover the amount? No. Why? Because here, is consideration lawful? Giving divorce to the husband, making contracts of such kind is opposed to, it is immoral. It is an immoral thing against the moral values of the society. Yes? So hence it is consideration and the object is unlawful, and hence the agreement is void. Agreement void aitandre ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ? You cannot recover any amount given. ನಿಮ್ ಕಡೆ you have no rights. ಅವ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ you are helpless. You cannot go to the court also. Now, can you go to the court? No. You cannot enforce that agreement in the court of law. Are you clear? Now, P will not be able to recover any amount from D. Okay? Sure. I hope it's clear. Now, A asked B, if you arrange a girl for marriage with me, I'll give you 50,000. Again, it is immoral because you cannot ask to arrange some girl and get me married. Okay? No. When the considerations are opposed to public policy. Sixth one, opposed to public policy. See, here again we have some sixth one is what? Opposed to public policy. Here again we have some types that we will see in detail one by one. But are you clear till here? Okay. Legality of object and consideration first. If it is consideration, if both we are telling, consideration and object both forbidden by law, if defeats the provision of law, if are fraudulent, causing injury to a person or a property, it is immoral and it is opposed to public policy, then the consideration and object both are, the agreements will be void. Agreements void means any money given or anything given cannot be recovered. Okay. Now, in the heading opposed to public policy, we have again types. Okay. Number one in this case is trading with the enemies. Some of the agreements which are considered opposed to public policy, that is first, trading with enemies. Yes, because whenever something is banned in the country, that you cannot run a TikTok in the country, correct? You cannot use TikTok, you cannot use PUBG, yeah? PUBG lovers, PUBG fans. If government denies it, then you should not. But if you still make an agreement, then that type of agreement will be void. It will not be enforceable by the law. if any money advance given to some of the parties so that they can give you the PUBG rights or something, if you take it illegally also, then you will not be able to recover any single amount from the government, from the court of law, from that person. Are you clear? Trading with enemies means if we are in a warlike situation with any country, then we are not supposed to make agreements with those countries. Okay, so India entered into a warlike situation, then without the license or permission of government, you cannot make agreements with that particular country. Okay, see here, TikTok, PUBG, because government thought that these apps are providing some internal information to the enemy countries, and hence these were banned. Clear? So that is the first one, trading with enemies. Second, very very important, stifling prosecutions. Stifling prosecutions. What is meant by prosecution? What is meant by stifling? Both new words have come to you. Correct? Prosecutions means prosecutions mean prosecutions means you would have heard in some English movie, or you would have seen in the movies, some case or trial is going on. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಕೇಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ongoing case is going on in the court. That's called prosecution. Yeah. Now what you are doing, you're trying to stifle it, you're trying to stop it. The ongoing trial you are trying to stop. Okay, how will you try to stop that? By any means. If you're trying to stop it, then 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 it is called abusing of justice, and hence it will be void. See here, stifle means the already going on proceedings in the court, you are trying to stop them from running their normal course using force, then it is called stifling prosecution. The ongoing case you are trying to stop by using force, then it is called as stifling prosecution, and this is an abuse of justice, and hence such agreements will be considered void. Okay, clear? Don't go and try this. Okay, in the court just entering, stop the trial. No. Okay, it will be void. Now again, there are two kinds of list given by the Indian Criminal Procedure Code. That is, one is compoundable offense. Here we need to study again two kinds. That is, one is compoundable offense, one is uncompoundable offense. Okay, here a list is given by Indian Criminal Procedure Code. Suppose some agreements, some offenses, some kind of offense means some kind of crimes, some kind of whatever you call it as, yeah, so crimes only. So crimes, some kind of criminal offenses are like, you can settle them outside the court. Even though the trial would have started, you can make an agreement with the party, so let us settle it outside, let us not again run in the court. Only those kind of offense, that's those offenses which can be settled outside the court, are called as compoundable offenses. Okay, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, even though the course would have started, trial case would have started in the court, but still ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಸೆಟಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. That list of offenses are called as compoundable offense. But uncompoundable offense you cannot, you have to go through the court only. That's called uncompoundable offense. Okay, now here is an example. Please listen to this example, where A agrees to sell certain land to B in consideration B abstaining from taking criminal proceeding against A with respect to an offense which is compoundable. Now tell me, is this a valid agreement or a void agreement? Quickly. A agrees to sell the land to B, but avanu ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, what condition he is making, you should not take any criminal proceeding actions against A. I am ready to sell the land to B, but he is asking me not to take any criminal actions against A. Now, but it is clearly said that whatever offense A has committed, that is compoundable. Compoundable ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಟಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಅಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Now he is trying to settle outside. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, but you should not go to the court. Now this agreement, is it valid or void? It is not opposed to public policy and hence it will be valid. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? when the offense is compoundable then it is valid. ಕಂಪೌಂಡಬಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನೀವು ಹೊರಗಡೆನೆ ಸೆಟಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅನ್ಕಂಪೌಂಡಬಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್, then it will be opposed to public policy. Are you clear? Now comes a word. Now third point comes a word, maintenance and champerty. New words alla full. Yes, maintenance and champerty. So many new words you are getting it today, correct? But you have to try to remember. And when can you be able to remember? Go and revise quickly today. Try to write in your own words. Refer to the notes. Try to make your own notes. That will be more helpful, I guess. Okay? खुद से नोट्स बनाओगे ना बहुत इजी हो जाएगा. अब मैं जो पढ़ा रही हूँ अच्छे से सुन लो, फिर घर जाके वापस उसको रिवाइज करो, फिर अपना खुद का नोट्स बना लो. आज के आज ही. It will become very easy for you. Okay? ಇವತ್ತೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಇವತ್ತೇ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. So very very helpful. Yes. I'm telling. Maintenance and champerty. ಈಗ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ನೋಡೋಣ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್, now what happens is, suppose ಈಗ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ understand, suppose I hit a, while writing, while coming to the office, while coming to the classes, I hit someone. Okay, I hit somebody's cycle or I hit somebody's car, I touched it. Now that could have been easily settled between the two parties, correct? Now there is a third person. He says that no, don't settle, you take him to the court. Because might be personal relationship ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. Only to annoy that person. ಅವನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಅಂತ? only to annoy that person, only to irritate that person. What is he telling? You please go to the court, file a suit against him. Okay, so that type of agreement, ನೀನ್ ಅವನ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕು, ನಾನು ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. He says that ನನ್ನ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ I don't have any money, I don't have any money to pay the fees also. He is like, don't worry, I will pay all the fees on your behalf, you just put a case against him. Understood? That type of agreements are called as maintenance agreement. What is he doing? He is just giving the amount to maintain that case. Correct? That type of agreements are called as maintenance. An agreement in which promises to maintain the suit. He will maintain the case, but in which he has no interest. Sumne to annoy others he is making. Suppose A offers B 2000 if he sues C for a case which could have easily settled under provisions of law, just to annoy, then it is called as maintenance agreement. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಟು ಇರಿಟೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ಟು ಎನಾಯ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್, he is asking to file a suit, make a case against him, then that is called maintenance agreement. Amount ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವನೇ ಬೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Okay, then it is maintenance. Now champerty. What is meant by champerty? Maintenance, are you clear? We are maintaining the agreements but which could have been easily settled outside the court. Now comes to the next word, that is champerty. What is meant by champerty? Now here also you are assisting in litigation. Litigation means again same, going on case again. Case you case ಹಾಕಿ ನಾವು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. But here in maintenance ಅವನಿಗೆ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. Even if he wins the case in maintenance, he will not get anything. The third person will not get anything. But in champerty, he will give the amount, but if that case is won by them, some amount will be handed over to him. Portion avanigu sigutte. Then that is called as champerty agreement. Artha aita? Are you clear? So, if not, then look at an example here. If A, ಇಲ್ಲಿ C is a third party. Okay, ಇವ್ರಿಗೇನೋ mutually if they could have settled outside, but just to irritate, what C is telling, C is asking A, ನೀವು ಇವನ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕು. C is asking A to file a case only to irritate B. ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ಇವನ್ ವಿನ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ all the amount will go to A only, C will get nothing. That's called maintenance agreement. But in case of champerty, the case is same. Here also C only will give all the money to help the case. But if the case is won, then C will also get some portion of the interest. Some profits avanigu barutte. ಅಂದಾಗ that is champerty agreement. Are you clear? Now now maintenance and champerty. First ಏನಂತ ಇದೀವಿ, any agreements entered for maintenance and champerty are void, but there are some exceptions. What are those exceptions? Exceptions ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, the agreements entered through maintenance and champerty will be valid in the following two cases. Okay, what are the two cases? When it is unreasonable so as to be unjust to other party. Suppose actually ಅವನ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲೇಬೇಕು, but we don't have so much, that party doesn't have actually so much of money, so we are just helping that party so that he gets his justice. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂತಾನೆ ನಾವು ರೀಸನಬಲ್ ಇದ್ದು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ನಾಟ್ ಟು ಇರಿಟೇಟ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್, so that he gets his part of justice. Then we are making him the payment, assisting him for the case, then it is valid. Understood? When it is giving the justice to the party, then it is valid. Second point, there should not be any malicious motive of gambling in litigation or pressing other party by encouraging unrelative and not with the bona fide object of assisting a claim believed to be just. So here we should not have any gambling motive or irritating motive. If you are doing for the justice motive, then it is valid. Are you clear? Maintenance champerty agreements will be valid if there involves no gambling motive, no malicious motive, only you are assisting so that you can for the interest of that particular party, then it is valid. Are you clear? Okay, next, trafficking relating to public offices and titles. Now you have to try to remember by the own names only, otherwise remembering will become difficult. There can be a possibility of direct question as well. Okay, what are the agreements opposing to public policy? Then you can mention all this. Trafficking and trafficking to public offices, try to remember here only. Now what is meant by public offices? Public offices means all the government jobs where public servants are appointed. Okay, trafficking ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? So ಅಂಥ posts nalli, all those posts which are government involved, like suppose for a IAS officer or a police officer or any kind of jobs, assistant commissioner, DC office. So wherever these posts are available, now what you are doing, you're trying to, like, you're not appointing the officers according to the talent note korta illa. If you pay 1 lakh, I'll give you this post. That's called trafficking to public offices. If you make agreements of this kind, then it is void. Clear? Got it? Yeah? Okay. Giving money, best qualified person kodlarde. See, it interferes with the appointment of a person best qualified for the service of public. Okay, so public in the public policy requires that there should be no money consideration. There should be no money consideration. Qualified persons, who has the best qualification should get that post. It should not depend on money consideration. Okay, so you cannot give the money for the persons ನೀವು retire agi so that our post khali agutte so that we can appoint others in that place. That is not allowed. And also making agreements to procure public recognition like Padma Vibhushana for reward is also like Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushana, adella by giving the money and taking these kind of awards. Okay, that's called trafficking relating to public offices. Intha agreements ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, void. ನೀವು ಮನೆ ಕೊಟ್ರು ಆಮೇಲೆ you cannot go to the court, ನಾವು ಮನಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದಿನ್ನ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗಿ you cannot recover that amount. Okay, if you give the amount for such reasons, then you lose the money. Clear? See, look at the example here. Example is Harish paid 15,000 to the officer to give the son his job in the forest department. ಇವ್ರು ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 15,000? ಆಫೀಸರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, telling that he wants his son to have a job in the forest department. Now suppose officer 15,000 ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, but he does not give him a job. Can father recover 15,000 from the officer? Very good, he cannot. Clear? Next one is creating monopolies, correct? ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೊನೊಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ 2 persons ಇನ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು ಆ ರೇಟಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ರು ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ಸ್, ಎಸ್, ಅವಾಗ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಾವ್ ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಇಬ್ರು ಕಂಪನೀಸ್, ದಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೇಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ, ಹೈಯರ್ ರೇಟ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಗೆ, ಈಗ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಸಿಗದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ವಿತ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು. So what, you making an agreement to give the cylinders at higher rates, correct? Now this type of agreements are void. You cannot make an agreements to create monopolies. Monopolies andre namde market, nobody else, ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So this is opposed to public policy and not allowed. Clear? Next is marriage brokerage agreements. So an agreement to negotiate marriage for reward is void. Again, you cannot make agreements and make the negotiation for the marriage. Ishtkodi, so there will be a marriage. No, you cannot negotiate the marriage for reward. Please understand, you cannot negotiate the marriage for reward. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, ನೋ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೌಡ್. Okay, if you create agreements of this kind, then it is void. So suppose an agreement to pay a person hired to procure a wife is opposed to public policy and therefore void. Okay, now ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ನೀನು ನಂಗೆ ವೈಫ್ ತಂದು ಕೊಡು, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾರಿಡ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ದಿಸ್ ಮಚ್. ನೋ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೌಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾರೇಜ್ ಬ್ಯೂರೋಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. No, marriage bureau agreements ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, they are also taking some fees, but they are just taking the fees for giving the information to the candidates. ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, they are just providing the information. See, marriage bureaus only provide information and does not negotiate marriage for reward. Therefore, it is not covered under this point. Are we clear? Okay, na? Yeah. So next one here we have is creating monopolies. Aita. Next we have, there are so many, yalla? Yeah, but try to remember, because there's a possibility of direct question. And also, see, I'm continuing here, but I think I have no space. So, okay, can I write in the next page only? Yeah. So, what was it? Marriage brokerage agreements. Next watch, correct? After marriage brokerage, what we have? Interference with court of justice, correct? Interference with court of justice. What is meant by interference? You are giving money to the evidence or witness that don't come to the court, take this and just sleep at home. With evidence anta courtiಗೆ ಬರಬೇಡ, just take this money and sleep at home. You are interfering with the court of justice alla, you are making the interference. If you make such agreements, then again it is void. Okay, you should not interfere. ಅದು ಹೆಂಗ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಹಂಗ್ ನಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಬೇಕು. If you try to make the interference, then it is called as void agreement, opposed to public policy. Okay, are you clear? Yeah, same thing. Absenting himself from the trial, that is neenu courtiಗೆ ಬರಬೇಡ, so that I can give you the amount reward, so that is not allowed. Okay, next, interest against obligation. What is meant by obligation? Wherever you get the word obligation, it means duties. Okay, wherever we get the word obligation, it means duties. What is meant by interest? Interest ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ benefits to you. Please remember these words. Interest means benefits, against obligation means you are trying to take benefits against your duties. Okay, suppose for a very simple example, when all, suppose it's a land ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, when all documents are correct, you should just, the officer ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಲಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ he should sign it and pass the file. But does everybody passes the file? They'll ask for something, ala, give us one plot, give us this many lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, only then they will clear your land papers, correct? That's called, what is their duty? Duty is when everything is correct, they should pass on. but they will try to take benefits out of their duties, and that is void. Okay, so here A, the manager of firm, agrees to pass the contract if X pays 2 lakh privately to him. And 2 lakh privately kuda andre nanu indu next pass ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Yeah, so that is again opposed to public policy. Are you clear? So here the eighth one we had is interest against obligations. Try to remember by names, only then you will be able to remember what is there inside, otherwise you will forget. Okay, try to remember like interest and renu, what is meant by obligations, then try to frame an example. Next, consideration unlawful in part. Suppose there is single consideration for one or more objects, or any one part or any one of several consideration for single object is unlawful, the agreement is void. So ishtondಕ್ಕೆ, so there are many objects but there is only one consideration, or for several objects there are several considerations. Okay, for one consideration there are many objects, so whatever it is, vice versa, if one is unlawful then the all the thing is unlawful. But if that unlawful part can be separated from the lawful part, then the lawful part will be valid, unlawful will be void. But if it cannot be separated, then it will be void in whole. Clear? Severed means separated. What is meant by severed? If a contract can be separated, legal part can be separated from illegal part, then the bad part can be rejected, good part can be retained. If illegal part cannot be separated, the contracts are altogether void. Okay, so let me quickly recall legality of object and consideration. See what we have here. Both the objects and their consideration must be lawful. If any one of them is unlawful, then the contract is void. Okay, now here there are some examples. Now, first one, the consideration is considered to be unlawful if it is forbidden by law, if it defeats the provision of law. Third, if the consideration and objects are fraudulent. Fourth, it causes injury either to person or to the property. If it is immoral, opposed to public policy. These are the 6 cases. But again, in opposed to public policy, we have 8, I think 9 points. Number 1 is trading with enemies. Enemy country is not allowed. Stifling prosecution, remember about compoundable and non-compoundable offense. Maintenance, champerty. Trafficking to public officers. Creating monopolies. Marriage brokerage agreements, interference with court of justice, interest against obligations, and considerations unlawful in part. Okay, these are the points related with what? Yes, legality of object and consideration. We will move on to our next topic. Are you clear with this? Any doubts? If you have, you can ask. No doubts? Shall I move on then? What you will do today? What you will do? Read it. Make notes of your own. Okay? Make your own summary notes. I will give you the summary notes for sure, but try to make your own. That'll be more helpful. Now moving to the last part of this unit, I think that is void agreements. What is meant by void agreements? What is meant by void contracts? Yes, what is meant by void contracts? In the unit 1, I said it, we will get it. The last one is explicitly declared void agreements. If you want, you can just refer to the unit 1 once. Unit 1 is very, very important. It gives all the basic knowledge based on which only all these units are done. Okay? Now, what is meant by void agreements? Tell the definition quickly. What is meant by void agreements? The agreements which ceases to be enforceable by law. Okay, the agreement when ceases to be enforceable by law becomes ceases to be enforceable. Ceases to be enforceable ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲು valid ಇತ್ತು, but due to change in circumstances or due to unseen situations, the contract turns out to be void. Or ಮೊದಲಿಂದಾನು ಅಂತ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ void agreements. That you cannot, you cease to be enforceable. Enforceable meaning is you can enforce it in the court of law. Unenforceable ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ you cannot go to the court. You cannot enforce it. First one, please remember these. It will be coming frequently. I have already discussed this once in the unit 1, but I am discussing again. First one, section 26. What is it? Agreement in restraint of marriage. Please try to listen carefully. First one, what are we learning? We are learning void agreements. Okay, we are learning what? Void agreements. In that we are learning expressly declared void agreements. Antandre inta agreements madindre starting indanu void. We can never go to court in these following agreements. Okay, so first one is agreement in restraint of marriage. What is meant by restraint of marriage? Wherever you get the word restraint, restraint means restraint, trying to stop. What does it mean? You're stopping. What you are trying to stop? A marriage. Oh, you cannot stop a marriage. Can you stop a marriage? Like in the films, movies, what happens? Entering a mantapa and telling, stop it. Yeah, can you stop it? You're making an agreement to stop that marriage. Can you make an agreement to stop the marriage? Is that agreement valid or void? It is always void. You cannot make any kind of agreements to stop the marriage. A father cannot make an agreement with the daughter so that she cannot marry that person. ನೀನ್ ಇವನಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು, you cannot marry this particular person. Father making an agreement, is it valid? No, it will not be valid. Even if father tries to forcefully sign her the agreement, even if she signs, that will be void agreement. Are you clear? Void antandre it is not valid, it is unenforceable. She can still go and marry that person and father will be helpless. Are you clear? It's just an example, but in actual cases I'm telling that marriage you cannot stop two adults from marrying. Yes, there is an exception. You can stop minors from marrying. ಮೈನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಜರ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್. ಮೈನರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೈಡ್. ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಯಾ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೈನರ್ಸ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಬಿಲೋ 18 years of age. Then if father tries to stop her by making an agreement that 18 complete agale only afterwards you think of marriage, yes, it will be valid one. Okay, clear? So marriage nalli enu nobody can make an agreement to stop the marriage. Yes, they can, only if the person is minor. See, minor can be restrained from an agreement and it will be valid. Are you clear? Yeah. Okay. Next one is agreements in restraint of trade. अरे अरे गुड जॉब भाई, कहाँ जा रहे हो? अभी तो करना है हमको. या okay, we got it here. Section 26 is marriage. Section 27 is second one, that is agreements in restraint of trade. Agreements in restraint of trade. What is meant by trade? Restraint of trade means you cannot ask any person not to, you don't do this business. You are making an agreement with the person not to do the specific kind of business. Will it be valid? No. This will be void. Every person has a right to do any kind of business he wants. Okay, simple. ನನಗೇನು ಇಷ್ಟ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಾ ಆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಮೀ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ದಿಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. Okay, if you make the agreement of such kind, then it is void. Clear? So everybody has a right to start any business of their own choice. Lawful business again. Lawful business, lawful profession, anyone can start any kind of business. But again, like here also we have exceptions. What are those exceptions? ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ you exceptions andre you can stop somebody from doing the business. Here there are three. Number one, please try to understand three exceptions one by one in details. See, number one, when andre you can stop the persons from doing the business in the following three cases. Number one, when the person sells goodwill of the business. Please remember this word. Person in ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ತಮ್ಮ goodwill ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತಮ್ದು ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಶಾಪ್. ಈ ನೇಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಕಮ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇಂದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ದಟ್ ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ಟು ಸಂಬಡಿ, okay, then that person who has sold the goodwill tells the other person, see, please don't start the similar business in the particular area within reasonable time. Okay, so long as I am carrying the business, you should not start within this limit, within this specific area. If he makes an agreement of this kind, then it is valid. He's stopping that person from starting a business, yeah, in the particular area for a specific period of time, or within the local limits, then that agreement will be valid. But provided the local limits must be reasonable. ಎಷ್ಟು ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇದು ಪೂರಾ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ನೋ ನೋ, ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ರೀಸನಬಲ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. Are you clear with the first exception? Second one, according to Indian partner, the rest two are Indian Partnership Act related ones. Partnership business. Okay, what happened here? See, under section 36 of Indian Partnership Act 1932, what happens? An outgoing partner, antandre suppose ABCD are four partners running a business. Now D leaves the business and go. After he leaves the business, then ABC makes an agreement with D not to carry the same kind of business. Now in business nadsta idivi, same business you should not start for a particular period of time within specific periods, local limits, agreement ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ that is also valid. That will also be valid, provided the conditions must be reasonable. Okay, so an outgoing partner, if the remaining continuing partners make an agreement with the outgoing partners that he should not start similar kind of business within the specific period and within the specified limits, then it is valid. And last one, under section 11 of that agreement between partners not to carry competing business during the continuance of the partnership is valid. Andre all the partners are still there, A, B, C, D, all four partners are running. ಯಾರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೇನೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ಲಿ. ಹಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್. ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ತ್ರೀ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರೈಂಟ್? ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ನೀ ಇಂಥ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್, ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ತ್ರೀ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ ತ್ರೀ ಕೇಸಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಇಂಥ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಇದೆ. ओके, समझ में आ गया सबको? ओके, अब देखो अब क्या बोल रहे हैं हम लोग. An agreement of service by which an employee binds himself during the terms of his agreement not to compete with his employer is not in restraint of trade. Please try to understand this. What is he doing? An employee himself is telling that ನಾನು ಇವ್ರ ಕಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನ ನಾನು ಇಂಥ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ತಾನಾಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು. While the period of time he is in employment, he will not start similar kind of business. Okay, then it is valid. Example nodi, please understand the example. A physician and a surgeon employs A as an assistant for a term of 3 years. Okay, B is a surgeon, he employs A is an assistant. 3 years ಕೆಲ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. अब 3 साल होने के बाद A agrees not to practice as a surgeon and physician during these 3 years. A is himself agreeing that I will not practice as a surgeon for the remaining 3 years. Now, because he has appointed as an employee for 3 years, so for those 3 years is not practicing as a surgeon and physician. The agreement is valid. A can be restrained by injunction if he starts independent practice during the period. If suppose in between 3 years, if A starts his own practice, then B, that particular surgeon, can stop A from doing that. Clear? Okay. Now, an agreement by a manufacturer to sell during a certain period his entire production to the wholesale merchant is not in restraint of trade. Very simple. If any manufacturer tells that I will, whatever goods are manufactured by me, I will sell all my products to this particular company, that's a valid one. Okay. Now, suppose there are unions, vegetable markets. When we go to the vegetable market, or when we go to any fruit shop, or jewelry shop, or pharmacists, they will have one price fixed for the rates. I think fruits and vegetables you will come to know early. Fruits, everywhere it is fixed. For apple, if it is 180 rupees a kilo, then everybody will sell at 180. Like somebody is selling for 100, somebody is selling for 250. Will usually not happen amongst the vendors. Why? Because they have their own community. They will decide the price of that particular product. And if they make an agreement that nobody amongst us should sell at a lower price, ಯಾರು ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆಗೆ ಕೊಡಬಾರದು. Yeah, can they make that kind of agreement? Yes, they can, and that agreement will be valid. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ then they can have action against them. Are you clear? So an agreement amongst the seller of a particular commodity not to sell the commodity for less than a fixed price and to maintain the quality of product is not an agreement in restraint of trade. Antandre idu valid agreement. Are we clear? Yeah. Next one is agreement in restraint of legal proceedings. First is marriage, second is trade, third is legal proceedings. Antandre ನನ್ನ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾರು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು is void. Okay, you cannot tell don't put a case against them, don't put a making an agreement not to put the case against them is void. Agreement ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ? So that you are asking the other person not to put a case, not to sue them, not to take any legal proceedings against them is void. Okay, you are restricting absolutely from ಅವನಿಗೆ ರೈಟ್ ಇದೆ, he has all the rights to go to the court ಅಲ್ಲ. Now you are making an agreement not to, you are taking away his rights, so hence it is void. Okay, or you are abridging the usual period for starting the legal proceedings. Whatever the time period irutte 1 month ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, you are trying to that ಅದು 1 month ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. You are trying to abridge the time, you are trying to delay that time. That type of agreements are also void agreements. Okay, clear? Now ಅದಕ್ಕೂ exceptions ಇದೆ. What are those exceptions? If you have already made, the parties have already made an agreement that if any argument arises between us, we will go to the arbitration. Arbitration andre settlements outside the court. Settlements done outside the court. You can write down the meaning of this. Arbitrations means any settlements done outside the court. If you've already decided that if anything happens we will settle it outside the court, and arbitration ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಫೈನಲ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, in that case whatever the amount is given by arbitration shall be recoverable and it will be a valid contract. Arbitration ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ಇಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ you will be able to recover that amount from the court. Okay na? Clear? Next, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಧ್ಯ ಇಂಥ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಂಥದ್ದೇ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ we will go to the arbitration ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, if that dispute arises then you will go to the arbitration and whatever arbitration decides will be final for you. That is one more exception. Clear? Next, agreement the meaning of which is uncertain. Uncertain ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ what should come into your mind? Which type of oil? ಯಾವ್ದು ಆಯಿಲ್? Sunflower oil or groundnut oil? Just I want 100 tons of oil, but I have 100 varieties of oil. Which oil you want? ಇಂಥ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, I want 100 tons of oil for 5,000 rupees. Now will it be a void valid agreement? No, it will be void because it has no meaning. Uncertain, not capable of being, but where the meaning can be made certain, if I'm dealing in only one type of oil, then it is valid. Clear? Next comes wagering agreements. Very, very interesting one. Wagering, section 30. Fifth one is wagering. Wagering is nothing but what? Type of gambling. Wagering agreements. Satta? Yeah, heard of the word? No, not it is not wages. It's not wages, wager. I'm not telling wages, I'm telling wager. Wager ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ I'm telling kind of satta, that is gambling transactions. Suppose you like to gamble, like if it rains today I'll pay you 500. It is wagering transaction. So see what should happen. Wager agreement ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ನೋಡಿ. In wager agreements there will be payment of money upon the determination of an uncertain event. Correct? Raining is an uncertain event, ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಾಯ್ತು ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ we are paying money. That's called wager agreements. When wager ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ what should be present ನೋಡಿ. First there must be promise to pay money, like I will pay this much. Correct? Money or money is worth. Promise must be conditional on an event happening, not happening. ಆ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಎದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಇದೆ? ರೇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್, ರೇನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್. ಅದು ಅನ್ಸರ್ಟನ್, ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ ರೇನ್ ಆಗೋದು? ನೋ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಐ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ದಟ್ ರೇನ್. ಅನ್ಸರ್ಟನ್. The both the part, there must be two parties, each party must stand to win or lose. Either one of us, ಒಬ್ರು ವಿನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಒಬ್ರು ಲೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. And common intention in the betting. I was trying to remember this word, but I was not. It is betting agreements. Okay. So illénirutte bet. Nam common intention namge rain inda namge ಏನು interest ಇಲ್ಲ. We are not interested in the rain. We just interested in the betting. Okay. So we are not interested in the event except for our money. So this transaction is similar to wager or gambling. Are you clear? That's called wagering agreements, and all the wagering agreements are wide. Suppose A agrees to pay 50,000 to B if it rains, and B promises to pay like amount to A if it does not rain. Then the agreement will be by wager. Clear? Now comes a very, very important thing again here. Please try to note this. But if parties has control over the event ಅವ್ರ ಕೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ವೇಜರ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೇನ್ ಬರೋದು ನನ್ನ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ then that is not wager. Okay, so that's wagering. Last one is lottery transactions. Lottery transactions is a game of chance. Anything involving game of chance and not skill of knowledge are all lottery. Again, type of gambling only. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ game of chance, luck ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಬಂತು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. Those type of transactions are called lottery transactions, and they are similar to wager. Again, it is void. Even though government of India gives permission to run the lotteries, correct? Lotteries ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಇದೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಟು ರನ್ ದ ಲಾಟ್ರೀಸ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಲಾಟ್ರಿ ಬಂತು, ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್, ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಎನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ದೋಸ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಲಾಟ್ರಿ ನಿಮ್ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. If that lottery person does not give you that amount, you will not be able to go to the court and recover that amount. Clear? Because these are void agreements. Okay, lotteries are illegal, and even collateral transactions to it are tainted with illegality. Okay, next one is crossword puzzles and competitions. Crossword puzzles and competitions. Crossword puzzles, if it is involving knowledge, then it is a different matter. Otherwise, prize money should be less than 500. Any puzzle, any competition, if the prize money is less than 1,000 rupees, then they are valid. If the prize money is more than 1,000 rupees, then they are void. Okay, if somebody tells you, if in this competition whoever wins the competition, they'll give you 20,000 rupees. Okay, you win that competition. If suppose they don't make you the payment, can you recover that amount? No, because it is more than 1,000 rupees, then it becomes void. Or kotre nam luck, kottilla antandre bad luck. That's it. Okay, it is up to them. We don't have legal rights. That's it. It does not mean everybody will not give. They will give, like to maintain their reputation in the society. They can give, but kottilla antandre we cannot go to the court and recover that amount. That's what we are trying to tell. Are you clear? So any crossword puzzle and competition involves more than 1,000 rupees, then it is. Now there is a case law, State of Bombay versus RMD Chambarbangwala. What has happened? See here. So there was a crossword puzzle in the magazine. A solved the puzzle, solution matched with the previously solution with the editor. It's a game of chance and therefore a lottery, and it is wagering transaction. So what happened? Crossword puzzle solve madidru, but crossword puzzle had many types of answers. So what did they do? Previously prepared num answer in the yard match agutte, avrige matra we will give the prize. Then again it's a game of chance, correct? Yarigadru barbodu. So that's why it is called an wager agreement. Coming to the next one, speculative transactions. Speculation means it is related with the share market transactions, commodity market, but it means buying and selling the stocks on the same day. You're not doing it for investment purpose, not doing for trading purpose. You're just speculating antandre you're trying to make money by difference in the price. Yeah, that's called speculation. Buying and selling of the stocks on the same day is speculation. Okay, if you do that, then it comes under wager agreements. Sorry, it is void agreement. Are you clear? Your parties have no intention to settle the difference between contract price and market price. It is a gambling and hence void. Speculation is gambling. Speculation means buying, selling on the same day. You have no intentions to settle the shares. Okay. Next, horse race transactions. The last one is horse race. These are all what we are discussing, all are void agreements, expressly declared void. Intavella transactions are not enforceable in the court. Horse race transactions are, if suppose the money is more than 500, please listen to me very carefully. If money more than 500, valid. If less than 500, void. Reverse ಇದೆ. Are you able to understand? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಈ ಹಾರ್ಸ್ ವಿನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರ್ಬೇಕು? 500 ಕಿಂತ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್, 500 ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹಾರ್ಸ್ ರೇಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಸಿ a horse race competition where price payable to the bet winner is less than 500 ಇತ್ತು wager ಅಂದ್ರೆ void ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, more than 500 ಇತ್ತು ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Suppose A and B enter into an agreement which A promises to pay 2 lakhs provided Chetak wins the horse competition. Idu heli valid or void? 2 lakh alla, more than 500 alla, it is valid. Horses transaction ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ reverse ಇದೆ. Please, okay, don't get confused. But in crossword puzzles and competitions, amount less than 1000 ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ valid. Okay, keep it here. Sure. Section 30 is not applicable in case of an agreement to contribute towards plate price or sum of the money of the value 500 or above to be awarded to the winner of the horse race. So if it involves any given trophies given or something like that involves fine, that is not applicable for that. Okay. So are we clear with the void agreements? First one, agreements in restraint of marriage, agreement in restraint of trade, legal precedents, agreement in restraint of legal precedents, agreements which the meaning of which is uncertain, wagering, that is betting transactions, lottery transactions, crossword puzzles and competitions, prize money, if more than 1000 void, less than 1000 valid, speculation transactions, horse race transactions. Okay, these are expressly declared void agreements. Next, last topic for today is transactions resembling wager but are not void. Wager tana resembling wager, wager tanane ansta ide, but still they are not wager and they are valid ones. First one is chit fund. What is meant by chit fund? We would have listened what there's a pool of money, correct? Everybody pools in money. Suppose everybody is there are 10 people. So 10 people, everybody contributing 500 monthly. So everybody pools in money. Now that pooled money, they will withdraw, they will draw a name of a person. So that month, whose name, whosoever the name comes in the check, the fund will be provided to them. Correct? So that is called again a game of chance. ಅಲ್ಲ ಯಾರ್ದು ಹೆಸರು ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, but still these are valid ones. These are not wager. Chit fund transactions legally allowed by the government. There are registered chit funds in the country. They will not come in the scope of wager, even though fixed money contribute ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ for a specified period. End of the month, the amount is paid to a lucky winner of the lucky draw. Draw ಇಂದ ತೆಗಿತಾರೆ, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. Next time again the amount will not go to them. Now there is again 9% the chance ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, that is chit fund. Next is share market transactions. Share market transactions ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ if buy and sell on the same date, only then it is speculation and void. But if you have intentions to settle, invest, trade, then it is valid. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವತ್ತಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅವತ್ತಿಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಅವತ್ತು ತಗೊಂಡು ಒನ್ ಡೇ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ಮಾಡಿ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಲೌಡ್. ದಟ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ wager. Okay, because nowadays settlement is done within a day. ಈ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಸೆಟಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒನ್ ಡೇ ನಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. And hence, if settlement of goods or share is intended to be immediate, you sell, you get your money by the day or tomorrow. Okay, settlement as soon ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅವತ್ತಿಂದ ಅವತ್ತೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ಇವತ್ತು ಬೈ ಮಾಡಿ 2 days ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬೈ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಡೇ, ಅಲೌಡ್, ಯು ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ನಿಮ್ ಮನಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬೆಟ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಬೆಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಲೀಗಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್. Understood? Now again, game of skill and competition, money should not exceed 1000 andre valid. Okay, contract of insurance, last one. Contract of insurance. What's a contract of insurance? Contract of insurance are contingent contracts and not wager contracts. See, there are 4 types of transactions which seems like wager but are not wager. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವೇಜರ್ ತನಾನೇ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ವೇಜರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ವೇಜರ್ ಕೆ ಜೈಸೆ ही लग रहा है. चिट फंड ट्रांजैक्शन, शेयर मार्केट ट्रांजैक्शन, games or competitions, but money amount should be less than 1000. Please remember, 1000 ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. That's the one. Fourth one is contracts of insurance. Insurance ನಲ್ಲೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, try to understand what is meant by insurance contracts. Insurance ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, what is meant by insurance? So what we will do, suppose I want to get this insured. Suppose, for example, ಯಾರು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, but I'm telling. Okay, this insurance ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ if I have to protect this, it's an important. Or suppose let us take a vehicle. Okay, what I will do for a vehicle, I will pay some monthly amount. Insurance, how much policy irutte, according to my choice I will invest. So I will invest, I will pay some amount to the insurance company monthly. If suppose I have taken insurance for 1 year, yeah, but after 4 months my vehicle got lost or gets in an accident and is completely destroyed, avaga what can I do? I can go to the insurance company, see my vehicle has been happened like that, now pay me the money. So now insurance company, if something has happened to that vehicle, they will go through their own procedure and they will reward you the money. ಎಷ್ಟು ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾ, ಓಕೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಆ ಇಯರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಥಿಂಗ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್. ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ದಟ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ actually something happens to the vehicle, only then you will get your money. Otherwise you have to pay monthly. That is fixed. Premiums will be paid by you. That's called premium. You will be paying, you have to pay, only then there is insurance. Are you clear? That's contract of insurance. Now let us try to understand what is difference between contract of insurance and wagering agreements. You may get a direct question again here. Okay. Now, contracts of insurance are to indemnify the loss. What is meant by to indemnify the loss? They will compensate the loss. A vehicle gain, accident again ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ compensation company will give. But here ಏನಾದರೂ compensation ಇದೆನಾ? No. Rain ಬಂತು amount ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, rain ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ amount ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. Correct? It's just a promise to pay money, money is worth on happening of an uncertain event. Okay, but here crux of insurance contract is mutual consideration. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ they will pay us compensation amount. So both the sides. Here there is no consideration, it is just gambling for money. Okay, third one. What's the third difference we have? Third one, insured party has insurable interest in the life or property sought to be interested. I am interested in that vehicle. Yes or no? I have taken insurance. Why? Because I am interested in that particular party, a particular asset. Correct? Here, they are not interested in rain. They are just interested in money. There is betting on others' life and properties, and there is no interest in anything else. Okay? Except life insurance, contract insurance indemnifies the insured persons against loss. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಕಂಪೆನ್ಸೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. Why except for life insurance? Because they cannot give back the life. Can they give back the life? Life cannot be given back, but otherwise they will be compensating everything to you. But here, loser has to pay the amount and there is no compensation. Okay, it is valid and enforceable, it is void and unenforceable. Here premium will be scientifically calculated and then told to you. Actual calculations of risks, risk ಏನಿದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನೋಡಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ there is no such logical calculations, nothing is there. Last one, these are benefit to the society, these are against the public welfare. Correct? There are many parents who are very burdened because of these betting transactions. Right? So these are the difference between wager agreements and contracts of insurance. Okay, clear? So go through. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, revise any doubts if you have in this particular unit, you can ask. Please go to the case laws whatever we have once, solve all the questions after the unit. Okay, so we'll keep it till here for today's class. Thank you.